12 dark secrets narcissists can never understand about the Heyoka Empath. That's the title of this video. Across social media and self-help communities, the Heyoka Empath is described as someone who thinks differently, questions appearances, and values authenticity over approval. While this idea is rooted in modern spiritual beliefs rather than established psychology, it resonates with many people who have learned to recognize manipulation and protect their emotional well-being. So the dark secrets that I'm going to mention in this video are not supernatural powers. Instead, they are inner strengths that can make emotionally manipulative behavior far less effective. Number one, they can't be controlled by fear forever. Heyoka empaths can't be controlled by fear forever. Many manipulators rely on fear to keep others in line. Fear of rejection, abandonment, criticism, or loneliness. But the Heyoka empath may feel those fears, but they refuse to let them make every decision. Over time, they discover that temporary discomfort is often the price of lasting peace. After years of being told she would never find anyone better, Sarah finally walked away from an unhealthy relationship. The first few weeks were painful, but months later, she realized something important. The fear had been much worse than the reality. The moment fear loses its grip, manipulation begins to fail. Heyoka empaths notice what others miss. While many people focus on impressive words, the Heyoka empath pays attention to patterns. They notice promises that are never kept. They notice kindness shown only when someone wants something. They notice how people treat those who have nothing to offer them. Character reveals itself through consistent actions, not polished speeches. Again, the Heyoka empath, silence doesn't scare them. Some people use silence as punishment, hoping the other person will apologize or beg for attention. But the Heyoka empath eventually learns to become comfortable with silence. Instead of chasing, they reflect. Instead of panicking, they heal. Silence becomes a place of clarity rather than fear. Again, the Heyoka empath, they don't need constant validation. One of the hardest people to manipulate is someone who already knows their worth. Compliments are appreciated. Criticism is considered. But neither determines their identity. Their confidence comes from living according to their values, not from winning everyone's approval. The Heyoka empath can laugh at the drama. Manipulation often depends on emotional intensity. The Heyoka empath ignores. The Heyoka empath sometimes responds with calm humor instead of outrage. That doesn't mean they ignore problems. It means they refuse to let every conflict consume them. A peaceful mind is difficult to manipulate. Again, the Heyoka empath, they turn pain into wisdom. Many people become bitter after betrayal. The Heyoka strives to become wiser instead. Every disappointment teaches a lesson. Every setback strengthens discernment. Instead of asking, why me? They begin asking, what can I learn? Growth becomes their greatest form of resilience. They see beyond appearances. Charm can be convincing. Confidence can be impressive. Success can be attractive. Yet the Heyoka empath knows these qualities alone do not define character. They look for honesty, humility, consistency, accountability. Those qualities often reveal far more than charisma ever could. The Heyoka empath, they are comfortable walking away. Perhaps their greatest strength is knowing when enough is enough. They understand that protecting their peace is not selfish. Sometimes the healthiest decision is to leave a situation that continually damages trust, respect, or emotional well-being. Walking away is not always easy, but it can be an act of self-respect. The Heyoka empath, they don't fight every battle. Not every accusation deserves an answer. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every misunderstanding requires endless explanation. The Heyoka learns that protecting energy is often wiser than winning arguments. Some battles are won simply by refusing to participate. The Heyoka empath, they inspire quiet change. Without giving speeches or demanding attention, emotionally healthy people often influence others. Friends begin setting healthier boundaries. Family members gain confidence. Co-workers become more willing to speak honestly. Positive change spreads through consistent example rather than force. Heyoka empath, they refuse to become what hurt them. Being mistreated can tempt people to become cold, suspicious, or cruel. The Heyoka empath resists that temptation. They learn to set firm boundaries while still choosing kindness where it is safe and appropriate. They protect themselves without losing their compassion. That balance is one of their greatest strengths. The Heyoka Empath, the biggest misconception is that victory means defeating another person. But their greatest victory is inner peace. For the Heyoka Empath, the greatest victory is much quieter. It is sleeping peacefully. It is no longer needing revenge. It is building healthy relationships based on mutual respect. It is waking each morning without fear of manipulation. No one can take away the peace that comes from living authentically. Now, the popular image of the Heyoka Empath reminds us that strength is not always loud. It can look like patience, honesty, resilience, and the courage to set healthy boundaries. Whether or not you identify with the label, the Heyoka Empath, these qualities that I've mentioned can help anyone navigate difficult relationships more wisely. The goal is not to defeat other people. It is to cultivate self-awareness, protect your well-being, and build relationships rooted in respect, trust, and genuine care. So in the end, the greatest secret is simple. People who know who they are become much harder to manipulate. So quickly, let me summarize the dark secrets that narcissists can never understand about the Heyoka Empath. Number one is that the Heyoka Empath's number one secret is that they can't be controlled by fear forever. Because many manipulators rely on fear to keep others in line. The fear of rejection, abandonment, criticism, or loneliness. But the Heyoka Empath may feel those fears, but they refuse to let them make every decision. Over time, they discover that temporary discomfort is often the price of lasting peace. Again, the other secret is that the Heyoka Empath, they notice what others miss. While many people focus on impressive words, the Heyoka pays attention to patterns. They notice promises that are never kept. They notice kindness shown only when someone wants something. They notice how people treat those who have nothing to offer them. Now, the other secret about the Heyoka Empath is that silence doesn't scare them. Some people use silence as punishment, hoping the other person will apologize or beg for attention. But the Heyoka Empath learns to become comfortable with the silence. Again, the other secret about Heyoka Empaths, they don't need constant validation. One of the hardest people to manipulate is someone who already knows their worth. Compliments are appreciated, criticism is considered, but neither determines the identity. Again, the Heyoka Empath, they can laugh at the drama. Manipulation often depends on emotional intensity. Again, the Heyoka Empath, they turn pain into wisdom. Many people become bitter after betrayal, but the Heyoka Empath strives to become wiser instead. Every disappointment teaches a lesson. Every setback strengthens discernment. Again, the Heyoka Empath, they see beyond appearances. Charm can be convincing. Confidence can be impressive. Success can be attractive. But the Heyoka Empath knows these qualities alone do not define character. They look for honesty, humility, consistency, accountability. Again, the Heyoka Empath are comfortable walking away. Their greatest strength is knowing when enough is enough. They understand that protecting their peace is not selfish. Again, the Heyoka Empath, they don't fight every battle. Not every accusation deserves an answer. Not every insult deserves a response. Again, the Heyoka Empath, they inspire quiet change. Without giving speeches or demanding attention, emotionally healthy people often influence others. Friends begin setting healthy boundaries. Family members gain confidence. Co-workers become more willing to speak honestly. Positive change spreads through consistent examples rather than force. Again, Heyoka Empath, they refuse to become what hurt them. Being mistreated can tempt people to become cold, suspicious, or cruel. But the Heyoka Empath resists that temptation. Again, the Heyoka Empath, their greatest victory is inner peace. The biggest misconception is that victory means defeating another person. But for the Heyoka Empath, the greatest victory is much quieter. It is sleeping peacefully. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Thank you.